Would I be right in saying that what Uttarakhand thinks tomorrow, India may well have, thinks today, India may well have to think tomorrow? Is this an idea whose time has come? Or do you believe this is imposition of uniformity under the guise of equality, imposing uniformity?
There is no doubt that this is purely political. I mean, the fact that the Bharatiya Janata Party has chosen a state like Uttarakhand, with a population of just over 1 crore of people and a population of Muslims, which is just about 5 or 7 or 10%, is itself telltale of the fact that this is a blueprint that they are now preparing. They tried earlier, they failed because the law commission, which was appointed by the BJP government, Mr. Modi's government in 2018, had said very categorically that it is not practicable to have a uniform civil code and we should not do it, they said. The words used were that we should not do it.
Yeah, they said it's not desirable.
Yeah. So having failed, there, they are now trying to, bring it here. Perhaps we are, with the eye clearly on the ensuing elections, so that they can tell the electorate country-wise that, yes, we have started the process and therefore, this is something which we should really be doing.
But do you agree with the principle, Mr. Dawe, the principle of a uniform civil code, that you need to ensure that across the country you're able to have uniform laws, particularly personal laws?
Well, it is an extremely difficult question to answer, Rajdeep. For thousands of years, we have been having separate laws for the Hindus and the Muslims, and even for the Christians. And these laws have worked to the satisfaction of many. There is no reason why at this stage these laws should really be tinkered with. Frankly, this is I think, as I jokingly tell my friends, that we have now come to a stage where we want to defeat Babur in retrospect. So we want to do everything possible. It started with the Ayodhya temple. We have now gone to Gyanvapi and Mathura. We are now doing civil code. All these measures are really intended to tell the Hindu majority that we are defeating the Muslims and we are defeating Babur in retrospect. It's not really in good taste. Mr. Modi doesn't need it because he is really the most popular leader. He is surviving.
Are you saying you see uniform civil code as being directed against Muslims? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Because if you are going to keep the tribals out of it, what's the point of having? Are you going to amend the constitution, Article 25, which allows Sikhs to have a kirpan constitutionally? Are you going to touch that? So, it's all right for, them to say that we are bringing about integration. I think in the garb of integration, they are really dividing the society.
Interesting, therefore, Nalin, Kohli, since you've been involved with some of the drafting, especially when it was banning polygamy in Assam, what I want to ask you, you heard Dushyant Dawe. Interestingly, Uttarakhand has kept tribals out because that's politically sensitive. So you keep tribals out, but say it's a uniform civil code. And you do it within years of the law commission itself saying it's not practicable or desirable. Why do you believe the uniform civil code is an idea whose time has come? And respond to Dushyant Dawe's criticism that this is Muslim specific. You're sending out a message to Muslims while you keep tribals out of the UCC.
I heard Mr. Dawe very carefully. And this will take a few minutes, Rajdeep. Perhaps I was expecting a little more legal inputs from Mr. Dawe. It's mostly political, so let me start from the legal point of view. The Uniform Civil Code is part of the Constitution, albeit, even though it is part of the Directive Principles of State Policy. Article 44 is not a creation of the BJP. It has been there in the Constitution when we adopted it on 26th January 1950. Let's also bear in mind, and your viewers should know, that Article 37 does say that the directive principles are not enforceable. However, it also casts a duty on the states that these principles should guide law formation, laws that are made. So, Uniform Civil Code is not beyond the constitutional vision. It is part of the Constitution and it's something that's been kept pending for over 75 years. So, something that is part of the Constitution, will it be kept pending for how long? 2. The Constitution is for Indian citizens, each one of us, including the Muslims, for whom Mr. Dawe has batted in a sense. Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Parsis, Jews and us Hindus. All of us get our rights from the Constitution as Indian citizens first. There can't be an argument to say that an Indian citizen will be in any way prejudiced by the applicability of a certain article of the Constitution of India. In this case, Article 44 being Uniform Civil Code.
Sure, but the tribals are also citizens of India.
With regard to Article 25, that also is not.
With due regard, Mr. Kohli, tribals are also citizens of the country, but you keep tribals out because you know that's politically contentious. You know that the Muslims cannot respond, but the tribals will respond adversely. Hence, the tribals are kept out. That's why it's seen as political.
No,
or the Sikhs.
Or the Sikhs. Go ahead.
So therefore, my answer to that is, no, 1 minute. I not only reject what you are saying, and I certainly reject the hypothesis on which you are. Let me finish what I was saying further. Article 25, which Mr. Dawe referred to, that also is not absolute. Enough judicial precedence to that, and it's also subject to public morality, etc., etc. Now let's come to say, I'll pick up from the committee that I have been a member of. The Assam Chief Minister said, let's look whether we can ban polygamy in the state. Of course, that right exists with the state because it's on the concurrent list, marriage. So in that case, in Assam, what we've given has no exclusion. A state government, in any case, has a right to decide what it would like to do within its within its own territorial areas. In Assam, the draft law that we've given does not exclude any committee as such. However, it is for the legislature to decide thereafter whether it would like to exclude, whether it would like to include. That is part of the constitutional scheme. Who are you and me to take charge and say, because I have a personal view which is very strong, or I have a point of view which is contrary to what is being presented in an assembly or in the parliament, that view should prevail, even though the view which is in the assembly or the parliament follows the entire scheme. So I don't agree with that argument. Uttarakhand has chosen something. Let us see what happens. Assam, as another state, can choose something very different, can choose something similar, can modify what model is there in front of it. But certainly Uniform Civil Code, as part of the constitutional vision, is not something that can be dumped into the dustbin and be said to be anti-Indian in any way.
Okay, Dushyant, the way you made the point that you fear that it will be directed against the Muslims. Let's be clear. What is wrong if you have gender-friendly laws? If there are elements in the personal laws of a particular community that work against women, we are in the 21st century. If you have gender-friendly laws, you should encourage them. Why not?
Absolutely, there is no doubt about that. But let me respond to what Nalin said. Yes, it is a constitutional vision, undoubtedly. But constitutional vision must be, in a constitutional sense. It cannot be brought about in a political sense. Constitutional vision under directive principles also speaks about removing untouchability, giving employment to all, bringing equality, economic equality in the country. All these, why are you not doing?
Bringing prohibition.
Yes, Now, why are you not doing all this? So, it is easy for you to say that I have picked up one constitutional vision and I want to do it because that's going to gain me votes from the Hindus. But what I am trying to say, and I am trying to appeal, I have great respect for my friend Nalin. I am not for a moment saying that state should not do what it is, attempting to do. As you rightly said, Rajdeep, if there is a gender inequality, forget Hindus and Muslims amongst the Muslim women. As a nation, we are seeing that women are discriminated very openly in this country.
Yeah, but
why are we not bringing uniform gender status code? Why are we not bringing uniform social status code? Because the Dalits are kept in an extremely difficult situation, as every village will tell you.
Okay.
So these are political issues. All that I am saying is we do not need this. We need to unify. We don't need to divide this country. And certainly Prime Minister, who is so popular, who has so many other ideas and wants to implement. It saddens me that the BJP really wants to embark on this. With all my reservations, I still respect Prime Minister. I still regard him very highly. And I don't know why they need it.
Okay, why do you need it? Okay, let Nalin Kohli answer that, and then I'll come to you, Zakia Soman and Faisal Mustafa. But answer that. Why do you need it? What is the urgent need for it, according to you, Nalin Kohli?
Well, let me answer to everything, but I'll answer your question first, Rajdeep. Urgent need? 75 years, something has not happened and it's considered to be too, urgent to bring it after 75 years?
4 years ago, the Law Commission said it was not desirable. Mr. Kohli, 4 years ago, the same Law Commission, 21st Law Commission said it was not desirable. What's changed? No, sir, 1 minute. No, Mr. Kohli, what has changed? What has changed in the 5 years?
No, absolutely not. 1 minute, you can't. Excuse me. Sorry, Mr. Sardesai, you can't interject me after 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
I have many things to say and I will say it.
My apologies.
And I will also answer your question, but you can't interject me and break my flow. Thank you. Accepted. Let's move on. Yeah, sure. Let's move on. So therefore, Rajdeep, coming back to this, 75 years not implemented. The urgency should have been there in 1951, 52, 53. Certainly in 55, when the Hindu Marriage Act came in, or the code, it was codified. What about the Christian community? They banned polygamy way back in 1872. The Parsis did it in 1936. We are in 2024 and we are still talking about gender issues. Mr. Dawe says, I would be more important about unifying. Tell me, how is a Muslim woman better off having one husband shared with 3 wives? What gender equity are we talking about?
How many Muslims do you know? How many Muslims do you know?
Gender equity thing.
Nalin, who have
one by one. I will raise, Mr. Dawe, I will raise this. I will give hard data. I will give hard data in a moment on that. But go ahead.
Come on.
Go ahead, Mr. Kohli. Finish.
Come on. Okay. Now, so that's the first point. Second, Mr. Dawe makes an allegation that there is a whole approach to divide. Let's take the Honorable Prime Minister's speech just yesterday in the Parliament. It is an opposition party leader who says what is there for minorities, to which Prime Minister Modi responds. Minorities, how long will you keep dividing this country on the name of one community or another community? Tell me, are women not including all communities? Are farmers not including all communities? Youth not including all communities? Why do you have to see it from the prism of Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Parsi, Jew? Why don't we see it as an Indian citizen? And why don't we see the law applying equally for all?
I will ask you, sir, Mr. Kohli, I will ask you one. Yes, go ahead.
And my last.
Yes.
Sure. Tell me.
I want to know once and for all, 2018, the Law Commission says, sir, the 2018, Mr. Kohli said, the Law Commission says it's neither desirable nor necessary. What has changed in 6 years? I want a short, straight answer to that.
A straight answer to that is the Law Commission has said other things that are desirable that have not been done. Ultimately, it's the will of the Parliament, or in this case, the state legislature. What has changed? They have decided, the state of Uttarakhand to start with has said, we would like to implement Article 44 of the Constitution. How can you say that Article 44 of the Constitution should be put into permanent comatose or deep freeze?